All right, as we continue on then, we have done step 11. We set the class attribute for the form to form horizontal. We changed the class attribute of main to container. We moved the H1 so it was inside of main, and we changed its class to Jumbotron. So the step 11 is done. Step 12, we added the div element after the H1 and we set its class to form group. Then we used the bootstrap column class and we made the sales price label span 3 columns, the sales price text box span 3 columns, and the sales price validation control span 6 columns. All right, and we used nested divs to line up everything basically the way we want it to. Any questions then? Okay, I'm going to go on in just a minute, but we've done the first 12 out of 17 steps. So look on the screen. No, it's not going to work, but it's time to run this. Look up on the screen if you would. So I want to run it and see what I've done so far. Okay. All right. So, remember this? Remember this thing? All right. Even though we brought in jQuery, it's confused. It says, basically, it requires the script resource mapping for jQuery. Now, hold on before you do anything. Now, we know that if we wanted to, that we could go and right mouse click and bring that in, which is totally fine. And maybe that's even recommended. But since we already have those jQuery classes and stuff in here, okay, what we can do, and it may be easier, I'm going to open up the code file. So I'm going to go to my default.aspx.cs, this file that's right here, your C# code, right? And I'm going to just add that line in my page load that says unobtrusive validation mode equals unobtrusive validation mode dot none. Okay? We could have done it the other way as well, or we could have even gone into our web config file and done that. So I'm going to do that. Some of you are typing it in, which is fine. Let me run it though first to make sure I didn't break anything, and it runs. I'll come right back to the code in just a minute then. Still waiting. There we go. Okay. So the first one is looking better. Does it look great? No. All right. But also notice that when I do this, yeah, it's already starting to be responsive, is what I'm getting to. All right. Now I'll go back. I'll stop this. I will put the code back up there, so if you want that line of code, you can have that line of code. That's it right here in the blue. And I'll make it even bigger so you can see it. There we go. Make that smaller. Come on, get down. There we go. So it's in page load. All right. I am purposely in the first part. In fact, I don't know if we may end up spending more time than I thought we were going to spend. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if we do all 11 of these in parts 1 and 2 as a class. I don't know. I'm hoping you're getting something out of doing it this way. If you're not, then you should email me or talk to me during a break. But you're learning the fundamentals now. To me, that's what's really important. All right. Okay, now, if you look up on the screen, please, I'm going to switch back to my default, and I'm going to go into source mode. Now, before you do anything, just please give me a listen, if you would. You may or may not agree with this, but you already saw this, that in design mode now, that this one is done. I know it doesn't look like it on the screen, but you saw it when I ran it. It pretty much looked done. Okay, I think everybody would agree with that. But the other thing you may or may not realize when I go back into source mode is what I want to do now is I want to come down to this right here, this discount percent, and I want to do pretty much exactly the same thing I just did. Would you agree with that? So I've got my choice. I can go in and manually do it, or I can highlight everything I just did, copy it to the clipboard, paste it in, and every place I've got sale price, change it to discount amount. See what I'm saying? I think it's faster to do it that way. You may or may not agree with that. But I'm going to go and grab everything that I had up above. All right, this whole div that's right here, starts here, ends here. I'm going to grab all that, copy it to the clipboard. And I don't think I did, but I'm going to try it again. Grab it all, copy it to the clipboard. Then I'm going to go down to my second one where I've got all of this stuff right there. And I'm going to paste it in. Okay, so now I'll have to change this to row 2. Change my comment to row 2. And start making other changes. All right, so basically everywhere that's in here now that says sales price, I want to change that so that instead of sales price, what was second? I don't even remember. Was it discount percent? Discount percent. That's my label, discount percent. This is correct the way it is. The required field validator is correct, except I got to change the name to discount percent. All right, I'm going to keep the required field message. This will be text box discount percent. All right, my class will still be error. The range will be range validator, discount percent. All right, I think the percentage was 10 to 50. So the message will change. This will become text box discount percent. The maximum will be now 50, and the minimum will stay at 10. But guess what? As far as I know, I'm done now. So I don't know if you agree with that, but I think that was much faster to do it that way. I may have missed something. I don't think I did, but I'm going to save and I'm going to run it again. And I'm going to see now if my second row looks like it's pretty much done. Unable to find ID text box discount percent. Okay, well that means I didn't call it that. I thought I did, but we're going to check. Oh, I know what it is. When I went down to here and I put this one in, I have to change the name of it. Right. Where is it? Here's row 1, so it's row 2. This, text box, discount percent. You see the problem that you can run into by doing a massive copy like I just did? You miss something like I just missed it. So let's see now if it looks the way that it should. If you want, I'll run off a hard copy of this when we get all done. All right, now it's actually looking better. I think it is, at least. All right. And you'll notice again that when we get down, it's responsive. All right, so when we're down to that extra small size, it now is going and it's stacking. All right. Now, I'm going to take for granted as we're doing this, I'm going to take for granted if something isn't making sense that you're going to ask, either in class or if you're too shy or whatever to ask in class, you're going to email me. All right. The problem is, just so you know this, there are no tutors for second-year students. All the tutors I was given from, from St. Louis are all for first-year people, and they're all electronic tutors anyway. If any of you think you're really getting this, and you're willing to tutor, or you're interested in tutoring, drop me an email. You get $9 an hour, and you can work up to 20 hours a week. All right? I mean, with a lot of you, might say, well, I'd like to, I don't have the time, and I'm just learning it myself. I get that. It's not a problem. I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Will I be able to?
Well, it would be for people in here. So we'd have to find out if anybody feels like they need tutoring, and if so, if they can come in during the morning. I will tell you that if someone is willing, if you were willing to do that, if someone needs tutoring, I can let you know a week in advance when all my lab days are next door in the morning. You're more than welcome to go and sit near the back with somebody, talk all you want. I have people in there that are actually helping other people right now. And, Val, he hasn't gotten back to me yet, so I've got to wait till I got to send Patrick an email and say what's going on with that. But what I'm asking is, what we're doing, does it make sense? You saw the results of what we're doing, all right? So, it says, add form field div elements for the discount percent, discount amount, and total price fields. And put the fields in the columns like the ones for the sales priv fields. I don't know what the heck that even means. Probably price, yeah. Sales price fields. All right, no matter how well you think you proof a book, it's not totally well proofed. All right. So again, we can go in here and we can manually do this. All right, we can manually do this, or we can do some mass copies again. All right, if you look right now, I've got in 125 lines. There's not that much more to put in here. There really and truly is not. So I'm going to just do this stuff because it's a little bit different. I'm going to do the ending stuff for my row 3 and my row 4 by hand. All right? Again, whether you do it that way or don't do it that way, that's your call. So, now the was just brought up, a couple of you said that mine doesn't look anything like that. Well, this is what mine looks like. And yours may or may not look like that. What I will tell you again is when we are done, I will run off a hard copy of my ASPX file for anyone who wants one. I don't think I'll have to run off a copy of the code because it's only 10 lines. All right, and we'll do that as a class. We'll do that last. But, and if everybody wants one, that's fine. I don't care. All right. But if Brady says, no, I already got it, it works, I don't need your copy, then fine. Then I don't want to waste it. I hate making copies and having people leave me here at the end of the day because they don't need them. All right, that's just a waste. All right, so I'm going to come back here. And I've just finished row 2. So now I want to come down here, and this will become my row 3. Again, hopefully you see, and you agree with me. Oops. That there is something to be said to actually putting in these comments. Those are real small comments, but it's making it easier, I think, as we're going through this, to see kind of what goes with what type of thing. So that'll be my end for row 3. All right. So just like we've been doing, I want to come in here and I want to put in a div. Class equal form dash group. That ending div does not belong there. It belongs down here. And I'm going to tab this stuff over. Move these break tags out of here. Okay. And now it's going to be much more of the same stuff that we were just doing. All right. This one, just to show you that it can be done that way. Remember up here when we did our labels? You'll all look up on the screen here. Remember we did this? Remember that? Well, I'm going to do it the other way just to show you that indeed it can be done. I'm not doing it to confuse you. I'm doing it to show you that there's more than one way of doing it. So rather than putting in there my class equal that, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put in another div right here. Under my div, I'm going to put in a div. All right. Bless you. And you know what? I don't even like doing that. I think it's cleaner to do it the other way because I also want to put in control label. So I'm going to put it in like this. I am going to say class equals col dash sm dash 3 and then again control. Come on. Oy. Dash label. Okay. Then for the other one that we have right here, make sure, yeah, I'm taping. All right. Then I'm going to wrap this whole thing into a div. Grab the end of that div, and I'm going to put it right here. Whoops, I don't know how I did that, but I did. And I'm going to tab that. All right, so that is my row 3. Grab this. Now, when you look at this, hopefully you understand. When I look at it, let's see, I've got 3, and I've got 3. What about the other 3, or the other 6? We're just not going to use them. You can make it smaller than 12. You just can't make it larger than 12. All right? Anything on there that doesn't make sense? We are coming, as they say, to the home stretch. So again, if you wanted to, we could copy all that stuff and then just change where it says discount amount, change that to total price, right? Which probably would be a little bit easier. So I'm going to just copy all this, copy to the clipboard, go down to my next part that's down here that's got all that stuff through total price right there, paste it in, change my row 3 to row 4. All right. That has got to become total price. And the ID for this label will be label total price. And again, I could be wrong, but I think that's everything that's in there. So the only thing that's left is what? The button. All right. So again, everybody has this, right? We have now finished, to my knowledge, everything in step 13. All right. The button is step 14. We're going to do that in just a minute. Okay, so finally, for the button, which is row 5. Okay. Now you may not agree. You might say, well, you put blank line. It doesn't really matter. All right. So I'm going to come in here before the button, and I'm going to put a comment in here that says row 5. And then when I get done, for my div, which I'll put in just a minute, that'll end row 5. All right. Div class equal form group. The div will go down on the end here. I mean, you know the routine pretty much by now as well as I do. I'm going to take all this and I'm going to tab it. Okay. All right. There is a couple things that we want to add in here. We've got our ID, good. We've got our run at, good. We've got our text equal, good. Anybody think of anything else we want to put in here? We can say CSS class, and we can actually put bootstrap classes in here if we want to. All right, so I'm going to say CSS class equal, BTN, always have to have the button class, BTN dash primary. What did that do? Much easier to show you. See how it changed the color to blue? That's a primary button. Okay. Another thing we might want to do, okay, when we go and double click the button, or when we click the button, we want something to happen, correct? Okay. So what we're saying is on click equal BTN calculate underscore click. That's everything. Now, if we didn't do that, please listen to this. You don't have to look, but please listen. If we didn't do that and we double click the button, it was going to put that in for us anyway. Did you hear that? So sometimes you don't even have to add things. They'll be added for you. What I'm telling you is when we go back here into our design mode and we double click the button to bring that up, that would have brought it up anyway. That would have put the on click in there for us. Okay. So we're going to put the C# code in just a minute. Like I said, there's about 10 lines. We're almost done. I believe, unless I've made a mistake, I believe we're done with the ASPX code. So again, what I will do after we run the C# code, or write the code and then run it to make sure it looks okay and it appears to be working okay, after we do all that stuff, okay, then when we get done, I will run off a hard copy for anybody who wants it. All right, I'll ask before I run them off. So let's go over to our C# code right here. You don't have to do this. I'm just moving it over so you can see everything, okay? All right. We may or may not have talked about this last semester, but regardless, I'm going to say it again anyway. Sender, right there where it says object sender, basically it's what happened, who clicked the button, okay? You almost never put anything for sender. Event args, that is most important if Amin's writing himself a game and he wants to know mouse coordinates, for example. That would end up being put in there. All right. But for most of the time, when you just want some code to fire when you click a button, you won't worry about putting in anything in those things at all. Nothing. All right. They're, for lack of better words, you may have heard the term before, but they're necessary evils. All right. That's really what they are. All right. So let's write our code. Again, everybody has this, right? Take this out if you have this and turn it to the front side. we have to declare two variables. One to hold the sales price, one to hold the discount percent, correct? And we want to grab both those values from the respective text boxes, correct? All right, so that's the first thing that we're going to do. But we only want to do it if the form validated. In other words, if we didn't have anything happen with our validator. So remember that if is valid. It's just something, again, that you get used to putting in there. All right, I told you there was about 10 lines. Okay, that's 4 of them, right, or 3 or 4 of them right there. There's not a whole lot that we're putting in here. I guess there's about, I'm counting, 6 more lines if we put in no comments. So I'm going to say in here, double sales price, might as well call it what it is. Sales price equal convert dot to double. I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to put this on 2 lines. Text box, sales price dot text. Now, I'm taking for granted that every person in this room understands what that says is grab what was put into the sales price. But only do it if it's valid. So if you put in a number that happens to be between 10 and 1,000. All right, then we're going to create another one. So I'm going to cheat just here and copy. God bless you. And instead of sales price, I'm going to call this discount percent. All right, that's 2 lines, even though I put them over 4 lines, but that's 2 lines. I'm just going to put all the code in that we can go over it. Oops. As discount percent. Come on. Home. There you go. All right. Okay. Then we just have to fill in our 2 labels. Yes.
Isn't the discount amount supposed to be divided by 100?
Yes, you're right. Thank you. All right. The discount percent, this is wrong the way it is. Why is this wrong? What if I put a 6 in there? Am I giving them a 6% discount? No, I'm giving them a 600% discount. So I'm going to pay them 6 times whatever the cost was to buy my product. So yes, as Brady said, what we want to do is we want to take our discount percent.
Isn't it in the discount?
No, it's in here. It's in the percent. We want to divide that by 100. Now you could put parentheses around the entire thing also. You know, that might be a cleaner way to do it. And then all I have to do now is fill in my 2 labels. Oops. What's wrong? Not convert to string from label. Oh, it's dot text. That's better. And that is everything. Now, I'll come right back to it, but let's run the program and make sure it works the way that it should work. So I'm going to come in here. Come on. Okay. Sales price, $500. Discount percent, say 25%. Click calculate. All right. Again, it sure as heck isn't perfect. And I can see one thing I forgot to do, and we're going to fix that in just a minute. You could start tweaking this. You could say, hey, do you notice how the discount amount, the dollar sign, the field doesn't add up, doesn't line up with a label? You could work with padding. You could do anything you wanted to do or had to do to move that down. That's not what's important. The idea is, do you understand the concepts behind this? That's what's important. All right, so again, here, there's the code right there. All right. Now, I'm looking on here. Okay, well, we'll take a look at it. So I'm looking at it on here, and there's one thing that I forgot to do. All right, and that is step 14 said we were supposed to offset the button. Maybe you saw that and did it on yours. Maybe you didn't. But let's put in the code to do that. Okay? It does?
I just closed out Visual Studio.
Okay. And open it again? All right, I'm going to come back to my default here, and I'm going to say for my button, I've got here, what do we have? Classes, form group. I really should have put this inside of its own div as well. And if you say, well, I did, well then good. Then you did something that I forgot. I'm going to tell it col, this is a different one if you look up here, SM offset 3. And then col SM 3. If you say, what does that do? You're going to see it in just a minute. It's much easier, as always, to show you this stuff than it is to sit there and actually explain what it is. So I'm going to grab that ending div, move that down here, paste that in. Tab this all over. All right. Adding that, if you take a look up on the screen here, the offset, now I only told it to do it on an extra small device. Maybe I want to do it everywhere. All right, see where it is now? But when I make it smaller, then it moves over here. See that? Did we have to do that? Of course not. It's just another thing that a little nicety or whatever you want to say about it. All right? Now I'm asking, and please don't be shy, who in this room would like a hard copy of the ASPX file? Hands up. One, what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody else? No? Amin, no? Yes? You were one of the 4. Evan, no? Ethan, no?
I have everything.
Okay. Brady, no? Dominic, do you want a copy? No? Okay. All right, so I'll print out 4 of them right now.
I have a question.
Yes.
So we still have to add the error class stuff,
Yes.
and then
The question was, what about the error class? And the answer is, look up on the screen if you would. We should come into site here, get rid of that body, put in .error, and you're familiar with this by now, color red, font weight bold.
I think on the paper said to add a text danger class.
Yeah, their text danger is what I called error.
Oh, okay.
All right. And they have one that's, I think they just basically have one called bold too that they ask you to use for something. That's not that big a thing. The only thing is, if you look up here, I just want to make sure everybody sees this. because it looks a little different when you're running this under Bootstrap. So notice now, come on, that when I click calculate, didn't like it. So something's wrong. I've got my stuff in here. Let's see if I put in something that's out of range. Those both work. Something is goofed up. That works just fine. So what is wrong?
Oh, under CSS class, it should be, no, like in your DSP.
Well, the other one thing I should do is save, even though that didn't hurt anything. What was that in CSS class?
In your validation code,
Yes.
if you have CSS all in caps, it should just be capital C, and then the S should be lowercase.
Like that? Oop.
Yeah, just two S's, and that's for the other ones.
Okay.
I think that's why it's freaking out.
Might be. That's row 4.
Oh,
Let's do this.
row 2.
Well, that probably wasn't good. Well, we're going to find out, though.
Here we go.
Okay. All right. And it should also be, now when we look at this, if you look up on the screen, it is responsive. Now, I put in some more line breaks. We could remove those now. Those extra line breaks I put in, that really isn't that important. So if that bothers you when you're typing yours in, then just make it look the way you want it to look. On both sides, landscape, no color. Okay. Just put on 5. Does everyone have the code for the C#? All right. Again, if yours doesn't look exactly right, and I'm not saying that mine's not a key, it's a way of doing it. All right. When we get to the next chapter, because I'm working on that one right now for chapter 4, then when we work on this one, we'll have 2 buttons, and when we click the first button to calculate, we'll go to another screen. Did everybody hear that? That's the idea behind chapter 4, a multi-screen application. All right? Because most of these are going to be. All right? You know, if you've got a website a database-driven website, it'll be a shopping cart or something like that. All right, let me go and get the, pause this for just a second.